So, am I using this thing to go in here? Sweet. Okay, cool. So I'm going to talk a bit about what stuttering taught me about running a business. First, a bit about me. My name is Lisa Barone, and I'm the co-founder and chief branding officer of Outspoken Media. We are an internet marketing company located here in Troy. I founded the company in 2009 with my partner, Rhea Drysdale, who's hiding over there. And if you remember anything about the state of the economy in 2009, you remember that it wasn't really the best time to start a sandwich, let alone a business. But that's what happened. In 2009, I had just moved from LA to New York, and so I found myself in a really difficult position when 3 months into the job I had just moved here to take. I felt like things weren't working out, so I had a choice. I could stay at the job and keep my paycheck, but risk my integrity, or I could quit. So in the middle of a crap economy and with absolutely nothing to fall back on, I quit my job. If any of you have ever started a business, or you've ever even thought about it, you know it feels. Oh, what did I do? I hit the wrong button. You know it feels a bit like that. It's terrifying, and at 27 and with a degree in journalism, I was terrified. I had doubts and I had fears, and I had all these questions that there was no way I was going to have the answers to. But what I realized is that the cool thing about new challenges is that they force you to pull off what you already know. You sort of go into survivor mode and pull from your bag of tricks. And what I was about to find out was that everything I needed to know about starting a business and creating a brand, I knew because I stuttered. As you know by now, I stutter. What you may not know is just how rare that is. Just 1% of the adult population worldwide stutters. 80% of that number are men. That means, standing up here, I am as close to as you'll ever see to a real-life unicorn. For those who may not be aware, stuttering is thought to be a motor skill issue. Stutters display a higher activity in the area of the brain that controls speech movements, which makes it difficult for the brain to account for the necessary movements. The result is this: it's just fluent in speech. The fact that I stutter has impacted my life in a number of ways. I was not teased, I was not tormented, but I did grow up quieter than I should. When you have a speech issue, you're not as likely to ask questions. You're not as likely to challenge things, and it's a lot easier to allow someone to make assumptions for you than to speak up and to correct them. And that was life for a long time, and it was my life until I found social media. In 2006, I got both my voice and my groove back when I accepted a job as a technical writer for an SEO company in LA. Part of that job had me blogging every day. So every day I was now communicating with people in a way that I felt comfortable talking to them. I was educating them. I was sharing insight. I was making them laugh, and I was telling stories. And I was finally connecting with people again. And I also started to get a lot of praise for what I was doing. People saw that I had an ability to talk to small business owners in a way that they related to. I was able to talk to brands and to businesses about the power of voice and why they should fight for it. And it became really clear to me why that was. Like a business, I was fearful of standing out or of attracting too much attention to myself. Oops, just kidding. I hid behind a mask because I was afraid of people to see me. I was limiting my own voice because I wasn't sure if I even deserved to have one. And I think that was a really powerful thing for me because it allowed me to see my stuttering as something that worked for me instead of something that worked against me. You know, I understand the power of voice better than anyone because I've had to fight for mine. My struggles with voice allow me to better relate to others. I only have to meet someone once before they remember me, and that's huge. And it's especially huge in business when we're all fighting for that mind share. My stuttering makes me memorable, and because I'm memorable, I have a platform. And that's what stuttering taught me. And stuttering taught me how to run a business because stuttering taught me how to embrace weird and how to make weird work. And that's what people need to do. Whether you're a business owner or you're an employee, we're all fighting for that top mind. It wasn't always that way. Before the internet, businesses made their money by catering to the mainstream. They didn't have to worry about the outliers because we were all held hostage by this idea of proximity, right? We could only buy the products that were in our store. We could only do services with the businesses in our area. The internet changed this. Now we could do business with anyone, and we could connect with anyone, and that changed everything. Now the internet has given weird people a place to meet other weird people, and people who are weird in the same way that they are. And when they meet them, they form groups. We form Facebook groups. We form blogs. We start podcasts. And when we form these groups, it then allows marketers to come in and market to them. And now it pays to be weird. It pays to be different because that's how we find not only customers, but it's how we find people who are going to be obsessed with their brand and who are going to love it and who are going to talk about it. Weird is how you stand out. It's how you become memorable, and it's how you create a platform. All of a sudden, weird is the new normal because weird is unprofitable. How can you make this work for you? Okay, let's just accept the fact that you're weird. It's fine. Really, it's fine. We're also living in this world where, like, we're back in high school. Like, we want to fit in and we want to look alike. It's doing you more damage and good. Just go with it. Step 2, pinpoint what makes you weird. I personally believe that deep down, everyone knows why they're weird, right? I'm weird because I stutter. I'm weird because I collect knee socks. Like, we all have these things. Just admit them. If you want to pretend that you don't know why you're weird, then fine. What is it you do when no one's watching you? What is that thing that you hold back when you first meet someone? We all have it. Your weirdness can be rooted in an experience. It can be a character trait. It can be a physical trait. It can be a strange passion. It could be that you're an extreme introvert, that you're an extreme extrovert. Whatever it is. Step 3, find a way to use it. There's a difference between being weird and being weird in a way that helps you relate to other people. There's a way to be weird and marketable. That's what you need to find. How can you make what's weird about you work for your customers? How can you make it relevant? When I talk to brands about how to, increase their voice or how to better connect with people, I talk to them about creating their blogging superhero. Your blogging superhero is a heightened version of you. It takes your most marketable traits and emphasizes them while de-emphasizing the things that really have no use to your customers. We need to stop giving weird a negative connotation because the success of your business rests on your ability to be weird and to stand out. And I'll use us as an example. In 2009, when we started Outspoken, we were entering a very, very crowded niche. We knew that we needed something to help us get the early buzz. And while there are lots of things that are strange about me and my partner, one of the most obvious things were that we were two young women starting an SEO company, and that's rare. So we used it. We reached out to other female entrepreneurs, knowing that women like to do business with other women. We spoke publicly about the image of women in the industry and how we wanted to change that, and it worked. Our brand was being talked about in the Wall Street Journal. It was being talked about in Business Week. It was being talked about in Inc. and in the New York Times. These are big brands that are now sharing our brand with their audience. Who else is weird? Those Jersey Shore kids. And it doesn't matter, you know, like if you think they're all deplorable humans, because they are, but they've made it work. Snooki is a best-selling author. She can barely stand up without falling down, and she's a best-selling author. The situation has made more than 5 million in appearances. Jenny has a book and a bronzer. You know, Ronnie does product endorsements. Sammy has a perfume. Those who it's a clothing lines. It's ridiculous, but you know they've built platforms for being odd. Here's my big finish. So I wanted to leave you with a powerful quote from someone you respect. So here's what I came up with. Dolly Parton said, you need to figure out who you are and then do it on purpose. And for me, that's the core of it, right? I mean, we're all weird. Just be weird and you'll find your audience. Thank you.